Recruiter here, the headless headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. The resume we have up first is a data analyst. This is I think it was their third or fourth update, and this updated one is getting them, I think, about 1 in 25, which is great. They got 8 interviews from their last version, so it does work. But they changed a couple of things in this, and they wanted a quick review to see if it's still good. They graduated from college a long time ago. They started their search in July, and they want to know my feedback. And yeah, let's see what they did right or wrong. So was this a meet? Yes, I think this was a meet, but there were a couple of things that we can do to improve it. So what do we need for a data analyst? Degree, industry. Again, industry, I cannot be in every industry. There are going to be a couple of qualifications in each specific industry that I am not going to be able to find directly, and you're going to have to be able to do that. So SQL, good. Data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker. Stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. This is huge, and this goes for almost every industry that requires a bachelor's or a master's. If you are highly technical, most of your job will not necessarily be doing the technical stuff. It's explaining the technical stuff to non-technical people. And recruiters and managers love it when we can see that on the resume, because that is a huge part of the job that a lot of candidates don't really do well. So, how you solved a problem with the data, not what the data is. Again, this is a case of you've spent the last 4 to 5 years doing this incredibly complex thing. And the sad part is when you get to work, people don't care how you got the data. They just care that it's right and you can explain it. So they want to know how you solved problems using the data you gathered, not how you gathered the data itself. Industry, again, well, I put that twice, so I already covered that. MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, basically can you multitask, and cloud. So, in the very first sentence, we see Excel. Great. Your formatting is a little off, though. I will say this, no underline here, no underline here. This should be one line, including this, but minor formatting issues. But Excel, great. I don't care necessarily about accuracy and reliability, though. SQL, great. Cloud, bonus. It delivers monthly insights for decision making. Again, you can write this a little clearer, but I think this is pretty good. Then we have this Salesforce and Zoho CRM. This may be specifically an industry thing because they may want CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management Systems, I'm assuming, which you do want to put in parentheses and then put. Yeah, so you want to say Customer Relationship Management Systems, parentheses, CRM, and then for the rest of the resume, use CRM. Python, good. Delivered KPI dashboards. This is great, right? This is good. This is one of your better sentences. So, delivered clear and actionable KPI-focused dashboards. Perfect. I do want to see in, like, Power BI or whatever, but this is good to 50 stakeholders. And then this is a part which I think you need to rewrite a little bit. Amplifying 10% in funding. What do you mean amplifying? I don't know why you put that. Just say so that they increased our funding, right? And they did. So I want this to be written differently. This part, perfect. But then I want you to say which resulted in an increase in funding and program support. Right? You don't even need to say 10%. You just said increased in funding and program support, because that is what your job is going to be. This is probably one of your best bullet points because they need to see that you use this stuff to convince people and you have a track record of convincing them. Train 250 literacy volunteers using PowerPoint, supporting consistent tutoring, boosting confidence and participation. Again, I don't care about boosting confidence and participation. What I do care about is train 250 plus statewide literacy volunteers who are non-technical by teaching them technical stuff. This is where you can put the technical things in. I want to see that. Analyze program trends and feedback using Power BI and AI to enhance retention and satisfaction. This is fine. So your big issue is you have good bullet points and then you kind of just but you muddle them with stuff I don't really care about. This is not as focused. I need this to be more focused. So, again, I don't really care about discrepancy weekly accuracy. I care about Excel, but this sentence is kind of iffy. This sentence is great, right? I do want to have a little bit more. This, again, I don't know if there's anything here I need, maybe specifically for industry. The Python is good, but the rest of it is kind of iffy. And then this is fantastic, but you kind of muddle it by saying 10% in funding. This is the difference of, like, I don't care about your percentages. I just care that you did it, right? And that's where you don't need to put this. Just say which resulted in an increase in funding and program support, because that is your job. You don't have to tell me 10%. You don't have to tell me 13% or 14%. You just have to tell me that it worked. That's it. You can go into that during the interview, but here I don't need. And then this one, you are very close to explaining a technical concept to non-technical people, but I need a little more. And then analyze program trend. This one's fine. Power BI, AI, some of that is needed. Great. So it really feels like you just muddled a lot of this with random stats and percentages, and you need to lay off of it, because you're going to get more interviews by laying off of it, because every single resume reads like 10% increase of decision-making increases, and some of this reads like you used AI for it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't really care. I only care that you show me how you did it. And it's just tough to read some of this. Like, look, generating insights that boosted engagement by 10%. I don't care about that. I care about this. Automated sorting attendance records by students' first name Python. Good. Improving reporting efficiency by 50%. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about improving reporting efficiency or boosting engagement by 10% or participation by 10%. You filled this with so many numbers that it made it worse. If you took out like 50% of your percentages and numbers, this would be better. So that's all I can really do for this. Again, I'm being very critical because this is like the third review, and half of your sentences are great. The first half of most sentences are great, and then you kind of ruin them by adding percentages and metrics. I hate the fact that people tell job seekers they need to add every metric, because metrics don't really matter in the resume half the time. For sales, they do. For product and managers and directors, they do. But for most IC roles, you don't need to tell me your percentages or whatever. I just need to know that you did it and did it work. And that's why you don't want to put it, because it muddles your resume. You have like a 8 out of 10 resume, and then you made it worse to now like 6 out of 10 because of all these percentages and amplifying funding and all that stuff. Don't use corporate language in your resume. You really, really don't want to. It makes it worse. So that's all I can do for this resume. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Before we get to the next one, if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where that is where I find this stuff, and I give people more information, because there's a limit to how much I can do from this YouTube video. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a backend Python developer. I don't actually know if this is a backend Python developer. They just stated backend engineer. The problem is that could be a bunch of different things. They also stated they are focusing on cloud and cybersecurity and backend. Those are different resumes. I cannot find all of that from the same resume. So it actually looks like you are getting a 1 in 50, which again is like a C minus. It's barely passing, but it does pass. The problem is, I don't know if you're getting a 1 in 50 from the backend Python roles or other backend roles, if you're getting a 1 in 50 from cybersecurity or cloud roles, because those are all different. So my best guess is that this is a backend Python engineer. I very quickly skimmed it, but let me do a meter yeet real quick to see. But it could be possible that this is more of a cloud engineer or a cybersecurity engineer resume, and that's what's having success. And I don't know. You need to be very specific. I just cannot help you unless you are very specific with what you are looking for, because if I give you the wrong qualifications, it snowballs and the rest of your resume is worthless. So these are the most important things in your resume. So let's see if I can maybe find this in 20 seconds. Okay, again, can't use this. This should be one line. This should be one line. AI training can be good. Okay, nothing there. Developed, I don't need that. Python, good. Don't need any of that. GitHub, good. see, I don't think this is a backend Python. Yeah. I don't have enough here. I think this is cybersecurity or something, and I'm not really sure how to help you because I don't have that off the top of my head. So, like this stuff, Node.js, Python, RESTful API, CI/CD, Docker, this is what I would be looking for. The problem is I can't use a bio. If it's here, it just doesn't count. At least in the United States. Again, I'm a US-based recruiter. Things are very different outside the United States. And I know Americans are known for assuming everyone is like them, but I don't. I know that everybody else is different culturally in how they recruit. So maybe in Finland, a bio is needed. But in the United States, a bio should not be here. It should be deleted. And I need the stuff that's in that bio to be in these. And I just don't see them. So I could not move you forward based on that. Yeah, again, there's nothing here. But this might be a cybersecurity role. Do I have cybersecurity saved? Let me check. Maybe I could switch that. I have an SOC analyst. Okay, this is a cybersecurity engineer. So what I'd be looking for in a cybersecurity is this. And I don't think I see this anywhere. So yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't know the type of backend, and I can't really help you, but I do know that it does not have enough as a Python dev. So you need to be very, very, very specific with your resume, and this goes with everybody. If you get these qualifications wrong, you will not get an interview. These are not keywords, all right? I want to be very clear with everybody. These are not keywords. No recruiter calls these keywords. I am not keyword searching. I am searching for the qualifications. And if I do not find the qualifications for a Python engineer, such as Python, SQL, Docker, Cloud, RESTful APIs, Agile, CI/CD, and then one of the others, and a bonus for Kubernetes, ETL, MongoDB, and Java, that means you are not qualified to move forward. That does not mean I'm keyword hunting. That means you have shown me that you do not meet the minimum qualifications for the job. So I want to make sure everybody understands that these are qualifications, not keywords. And everybody keeps saying keywords, but that's not real. Recruiters don't call them keywords. We call them qualifications. So by not including the qualifications and showing me how you did the qualification and the reason and result of doing the qualification, I can't move you forward because you are not qualified for the role. So you can fight me in the comments, but this is unfortunately how reality works. And I wish I could change it for you all, but I cannot. I can just teach you how the game is played. I don't know how to change the rules. So let's go to the next resume. This is the resume review of a program manager. So this person fully docs themselves, so I cannot scroll past this page. Let's see if I can find what I need in 20 seconds. The only thing they wrote to me is it takes them over 150 applications to get a single interview. So I'm expecting this to not be good. They did not write anything else. So what we're looking for in a program manager is the industry. This is pretty big. Again, healthcare is going to be different than software development lifecycle. They want to know your industry, and I just cannot be in every single one. So as long as I can tell what industry you are in, I think we're going to be okay. PMP. Yeah, it's really good to have. Microsoft Project and Visio, Microsoft 365, MS Office, cross-functional, highly matrixed organization, stakeholders, customers, clients, agile, and probably the most important part, and this is why you can't just like call them keywords, is a big qualification is how you succeeded and managed multiple projects at the same time. I would like to see multiple bullet points that show how you succeeded, what the result of that was, and how you were able to multitask multiple projects. That's a massive part of the job. So hopefully this one has it, but I doubt it. So let's see, 20 seconds and go. Okay, can't use anything here. Formatting is absolutely awful. Can't use anything here. Directed a 5 million cross-functional pod program. What? What do you mean resource allocation? That's not what I'm looking for. Budget mitigating risk? That's not what I'm looking for. 69% forecast improvement. What are these? Why do I care about these? Now shows SDL phases. Okay, so this is software. Yeah, this is a terrible resume. So you made the mistake of trying to show why you're good on the resume, and you cannot do that. Are some of these numbers good? Yeah, it's okay to have some numbers. Like where is a good one? Actually, none of these are good numbers. So here's what I don't see. You know what I don't see? I don't see PMP. I don't see Project Visio. I don't see Microsoft 365. I don't see MS Office. And I don't see Agile or stakeholders or customers or clients. But, and I think this is more important than that, is I don't know what you did, and I don't know how you succeeded and managed multiple projects at the same time. Is it good that you directed a 5 million cross-functional thing? Good, cross-functional I found. But what is a multi-pod program optimizing resource allocation to cut project costs by 10%? That's not what I'm looking for. I want to know how you succeeded. I don't want to just know that you cut project costs. I want to know how you did that in a way that's understandable. I need to know what was the point of doing that. How many projects were you having at once? Resolved a budget blockage? What's a budget blockage? Why do I need to know that? I don't. Customer segment harmonization? I don't know what that is. Embedded structure delivery cadence across SDL. This is solid because you mentioned SDLC. Achieving 80% on time. It's too technical. If they need a program manager, guess what? They may not know any of these terms. The person hiring for this may need somebody to manage the stuff. You know what they need to know? How you succeeded. What was your project? I don't even know. What was your program? What were the multiple projects you were managing? I don't know. You didn't tell me. How many were you doing at once? I don't know. You didn't tell me. What was the point of succeeding? I don't know. You didn't tell me. You don't tell me exactly how. This is not understandable for a layman, and the formatting is so awful that no one's ever going to be able to get past here. I barely got to SDLC in the first place. Like, this is a little more understandable. Like, implemented a Salesify SaaS supplier, but again, it's still too technical. This is why you don't want to fill these with 10% and 40%. I don't care that you increased efficiency by 10%. How did you measure that? I don't know. You know what I want to see? Directed a 5 million cross-functional program, good, that received praise and increase in sales from our customers and praise of our stakeholders in an agile environment, right? Like, I want you to write it like that. This is incomprehensible. And that's why you're not getting anything, is you wrote this as if the person reading this is an expert. You know what? Other program managers may see this and recognize your greatness, but nobody else will. So you absolutely need to show the basics. And I don't know, like here, this is solid. Automated order-to-cash testing via agentic automation, good. Reducing execution time, boo. And enabling earlier deficit detection. This is fine, but like, I don't know why this is important. You don't tell me. So stop using all these percentages. This is like the most common theme of terrible resumes, is everybody fills them with these percentages and numbers, and we don't need all of these. They should be very, very sparse. So that's all I can do for this one. There's just nothing here that I could really use. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a data analyst in France. They stated, I am applying for French companies since you don't require a visa there. I'm also searching for an internship and not a full-time position, since this would be a part of my master's program. Okay, that's way different. So, with the full caveat that I am a US-based recruiter and I'm not able to find internships in France because I cannot speak French, let's look at what we're going to need. So in most internships, you're not going to need all of this stuff, to be clear. But you want some of it. The issue is once you get into like master's level interns, they want a little bit more. So while I have all of this stuff, you don't need all of it. Normally, I'd say you need about 75%. In this case, I think you really only need about 50% of it. But again, I can't directly look up that because I cannot speak the language. So, this person has a 150 ratio, which is not good. And I also wanted to add here, which let's say instead of cloud, we're going to add ability to work together and take criticism, which I can never spell, because that is what they'd want in an intern. So Degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. That one's still going to be big, even in an internship. How you solved a problem with the data, not what the data is. Then the industry, which in this case may not actually be necessary since this is an internship and you're kind of industry agnostic. But we do need some MS Excel and Word, Python, R, and then probably not multiple projects and deadlines. Again, some of this is an assumption because I cannot speak French, but let's see if I can at least find some of this stuff. So away we go. All right, this is way too long. There's too much stuff there. All right, spearheaded the Azure. Again, that could be good. What? Why do I care about files and pharmaceutical databases? That's completely not relevant. SQL. Okay, I found SQL down here. Power BI is good. That's it. That's all I found. Yeah, this is a bad resume. So if you noticed, I got all the way down to here and I did not find anything but SQL. What else did I say? SQL, Power BI, and there was one other thing that I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, this is not good. So why is this not good? Well, partly your formatting is just not great. I want your resume to look like this. Again, no underlines here. The only bolding is here. It's entirely black and white besides this part up here. This part can be blue because that's your contact information and that will be okay. Then we get to the actual qualifications. So, well, actually, no, before that, this is way too long. Again, I don't... maybe the scholarship is okay, but this should still be one line. And again, it should look like this, right? You need to put this like that. You can put your... Yeah, you don't even tell me your GPA here. And then this, again, I don't need the rest of this. I just need to know that it was a bachelor's and you're currently in your master's. So this is way too long. This entire section should be no more than 3 lines maximum. Then we get here, data analyst intern. Cool. Azure, good. This may be something they want. ETL, I don't think so. Automated script operation and incidents by 90%. Who cares? I'm sorry. I know that's impressive, and I'm not trying to be mean, but like, this is why these percentages don't work, is I don't know if that's good. What if this is a bad thing, right? What if 90%? Well, why not 100%? That's what I'm thinking is, well, you did it by 90%. Why not 100%? Why were you not good enough to do the rest of the 10%? Even if that is incredibly impressive, the person reviewing your resume may not know that. And the second you start bringing up, this is why this is why I'm better than everybody else in the resume, the person reading your resume is immediately going to think why you're not. So this is not good. Resolving a backlog of number files, again, I don't really care about that. Thus, analyze the decision making for the client. Okay, this is almost good. You know what I want to see? I want to see, let's see, it assisted the client in their decision making by resolving a backlog of files and pharmaceutical database records into a master file. That is what? The fact that you have 40K and 300K and 35%, nothing. And again, who's quantifying decision making by the client by 35%? Is that an actual metric? Can you actually go and say, hey, the client has improved their decision making by 35%? Like, an increase of 35% in year-over-year sales, yeah, but decision making? What? Programmed and documented computer vision model. Again, probably not needed. To analyze customer behavioral patterns for commercial deployment and training guides that reduced inboard auditing time. Again, 40%, okay, I don't stop putting your percentages. I don't care about your percentages. But improved our performance guides, yeah, but again, I don't see how it's related to this. If you said created an Excel, you know what? This is the sad part, and this is going to break a lot of people's hearts. Instead of saying computer vision, if you said created an Excel document using pivot tables and macros, which reduced our intern's onboarding time, that would be 1,000% more impressive than what you wrote here. So I don't care about your computer vision. I care that you used Excel and SQL. And then we get to here, built a pipeline to extract, clean, and load, ETL. what is that? Intraday stock data for tickets into a structured database. Again, why do I care? And I'm not saying it's not impressive. I'm not saying you didn't do a good job. I'm saying this is not relevant to me. This is not what I am looking for. I am looking for this. In the US at least. In the US at least, I am looking for this. Maybe ETL is very good in France. I don't know. And then you get down to here, and again, I don't see any of this. Where'd you use Excel? Where'd you explain complex technical topics to non-technical people? Where'd you use data visualization? Where did you work together and take criticism? How did you, and you know what? This entire resume is this, right? I'd say your biggest problem, and I'm just going to delete all of this to show you because I think this is the biggest issue right here, is you do not tell me how you solved a problem with data. You told me how you got the data, but not why it was useful. And once you get into the corporate world, once you start doing this stuff, they don't care that you did ETL of scripts and 300 databases. All they care about is the result. They don't care how you found it. So you need to tell me what you did with the data to make a result, not how you got the data. Right? Like here, design a comprehensive interactive dashboard. Okay, using marketing data of 2,800 records. I don't care that you used all that data. I care that you made an interactive dashboard with Power BI, but I don't know why you did it. You didn't tell me. So that is your big problem here, is at least in the US, which maybe it doesn't translate, which I will fully admit is a possibility, is you tell me how you solved the problem. You showed me your work. I don't care about your work. I care about the answer and the answer only. And you don't tell me how you what the answer is, right? A lot of times in school, they will tell you, it doesn't matter what the answer is, you need to show me how you got to the answer. This is the opposite. I don't care how you got to the answer. I just care that you got the answer. So that's why this doesn't work, is it's utterly incomprehensible and filled with a bunch of meaningless percentages that people outside the industry would not know. So write your resume for the layman. That is like top 5 tips I can ever give. In fact, I think if everybody followed that, I would receive about 75% less resumes. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of, I don't know, you did not tell me. You just said software development engineer or software engineer. But, like, you didn't tell me what kind. So this person just said new grad looking for a job in India. I'm not a recruiter that has ever recruited in India. I don't know if my advice will translate, and I will be perfectly frank with you. I don't mean, like, translate as in, like, physically translate from English to the language, because I know there's multiple languages in India. I mean, I don't know if this advice will work outside the US. So far, it's worked in Australia, it's worked in Canada, it's worked in Africa, it's worked in the EU and Europe, or the UK, but I don't know if it works in India. So I'm going to have to judge this as if it was a software engineer resume that was sent to me in the US, because that is the best I can do. And in the US, what they specifically do is they break it down into one of 5 things. Are you full stack? Are you backend Java, backend Python, backend .NET, or are you front end? Each of those is different. So can I figure out what you are in that time? Let's find out. Also, you did not tell me your ratio, so I don't know how good this resume is or not. And let's find out. Or AI, also. Someone in my chat said they also could be an AI engineer, and that is also the case. There are 6 or more. Plus, what if you're an embedded systems engineer? That's 7 different types you could be. So you need to tell me specifically what you are. Let's see. All right. Engineered an automated HR platform. Okay, but whatever. Django. Okay, Python. There's 1 for Python. Excel. Don't really care about. Again, the one a few times. Python. Okay. Flask. OpenAI. This might be a Python dev. I don't know. I do not have enough to move you forward as a Python dev, but I think this is a Python dev. So let me get this up. Do I have Python for India specifically? I don't know if I do. Let's check. So, getting it up. I have it in the EU. Here we go. Yeah. I don't know if this is still accurate, but this is the India version of a Python backend developer. So we're going to change this to Python Dev India because this is the qualifications I got. So what I'd be looking for is Python, NumPy, Pandas, Fast API, MongoDB, any AI, AI, ML, LLM, also NLP, and any of the others. SQL, Cloud, CI/CD, Git, REST, RESTful APIs, Kubernetes, Docker, Django, and Agile, and a bonus for full stack. So these are what I would look for in that resume. And I did not find it. So your first problem is technology intern has nothing but Django. That's it. This is 3 bullet points. The only thing I care about is Django. And nothing else. You know what I want to see? Engineered an automated HR platform using Python, Docker, Django, and an agile environment. Then maybe some cloud, but I don't see it here. So if you're applying for a job as a fresher, your goal is to pick a stack. You have to pick a stack. I don't know of a single place that you can't just pick one. Because guess what? This is what we need for Python, but what we need for Java is different. What we need for full stack, despite there being a full stack as a bonus, is going to be different. It's where the focus is. Then we go down here. Flask. I don't know if I need. OpenAI. Okay, solid. Python, good. AI, good. And then nothing else, nothing else, nothing else. This might as well be blank. Nothing else, nothing else. I see Python. Everything else is blank. This one, Flask, good. React could be one that I missed. SQL, great. Docker. This right down here is, and RESTful APIs. Oh my gosh, this is how I want you to write it. Designed AX, an EdTech, I guess education tech platform using blah, 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 and Mongo, but you don't say Python. So yeah, this is how I want you to write it more. Again, like if you look at the successful software engineer resumes on my previous reviews, they are very specifically picking a stack. Now, during an internship, you don't need to do this. A software engineer intern at company A is a software engineer intern at company B. Doesn't matter if you're full stack, front end, back end, whatever. But once you graduate, and this goes for the US too, and I guess it goes for the India as well, is you need to pick. You need to pick what you're going to do. Because if I see a bunch of Java and I'm looking for a Python dev, guess what? I'm not going to move forward with you. If there's a lot of full stack and I see nothing about Python or CI/CD or Git or REST APIs, I can't move forward with you. If I am looking for a front-end dev and I see this, I can't move forward with you. So you need to make sure these are not keywords. These are qualifications. Because you know what this shows me? That in the entire time you did this, the only qualification you have for this job is Django. But this means you're not qualified for the role because you've spent 3 months doing nothing except using Django. Here, this is pretty solid. It means you are qualified because you use Python, great. AI, cool. Flask, again, not as great. And API. But this shows me that the entire internships you've done, the only qualifications for your job that are relevant are Python, AI, and Django. That's it. Nothing else. There's nothing else in here that shows me that you are qualified. And that's a problem, and that's not why you're getting it. Because you wasted this entire thing, and you did not show me you were enough qualified. You had 2 things I was looking for. That's it. This proves to me that you're not qualified. Again, you put it down here, which is great, but you don't want to put it here. You have to put it here. Where's the Python? How did you use Python? I don't know. You didn't tell me. So that's your biggest issue is you don't put what is relevant for the role on your resume. And that's why you have to pick. But this is as far as I can go on this video. I hope it was at least helpful. Again, I am tired and I don't want to be too mean. I just want to make sure that you hear the harsh truth for me and not submit for hours and hours and hours of your life and then get nothing. So, API. I missed API here. There we go. So API is good. But anyway, if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. And please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help me out. And until next time, I'm here to help you get ahead of your job search.